Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what are you saying, people, and welcome back to another live stream. Hope everyone is doing well. Like always, guys, make sure you check out the Telegram channel. Left a link to that in the chat, and also make sure you go check out the recommended broker if you're looking for any brokers. But hope you all had a good weekend. Having a good week so far. It's only Tuesday, still a lot more to come this week. But yeah, guys, if there's any pairs you guys are looking at, feel free to share with me. We'll take a look at it together, see what's happening, see what pairs we can take a look at, see if there are any opportunities coming up. Like always, if there's any particular time frames you're looking at, feel free to share. So I can understand which time frames you're looking at, what perspective, what buys you're trading. But yeah, we're going to take a look at the markets. So far, do have a nice trade on Euro USD here, looking for some longs back up into 1.137, and we can see potentially if we can go further from there. But I did give this setup out yesterday on Monday from this piece of price action down here, and we did see quite a nice move to the upside. Price retrace, come back down to test that support, and now we're seeing a really nice reaction again this morning. So price is looking very, very bullish here for Euro USD, looking for a move back into these highs, potentially further as well. Got some areas that we're interested in over here. Potentially price could reverse, of course, but yeah, looking for a push back up into 1.13800 and potentially further, because I do think Euro USD can reverse, not necessarily a reversal, but bigger retracement. So yeah, I do think Euro USD could see some nice upside here. Yeah, we've seen a really nice pop to the upside during the London session, and price has definitely gathered a lot of steam here. So Euro USD looking bullish. I imagine DXY is looking quite weak. Yes, we are big bearish engulfing. Again, this one is kind of just moving sideways. To be honest, hasn't really gone anywhere. But we're still respecting a key level of resistance, resistance supply at 96,400 is still failing to break through that. I said to you guys last week that if we can break 96,400, then potentially DXY can come up to 97, set some new highs potentially, but we're still failing to break through 96,400. So I do think, especially with this shift of momentum, especially how Euro USD is looking, I do think we're probably going to see DXY push into the lows of this wick here, probably spike through, because this here price trying to form a lower high here. I'm expecting a lower high. Obviously, we could turn around, but I'm expecting that lower high to form. I'm expecting some lower lows beneath this wick at 95,500. So yeah, I do think DXY is looking good to drop back down to 95,500, which means Euro USD should be pushing on still. Pound USD, if that can find some strength, should be pushing on. Of course, Euro is a lot stronger than Pound right now, hence Euro's had a bit more of a rally. And yesterday Pound did take a bit of a dive, to be honest, but I do think Pound can look to start to reverse. Doesn't look as good as Euro, so if you are looking at buy setups, I'll probably be a little bit more patient with Pound, because I don't think it's looking the best yet for those reversals. It's definitely finding support here at 1.32, nice psychological level, which I think that was news we spiked into. We keep failing to break through. We put numerous wicks into this area, so it definitely shows that every time we come here, buyers take it back up, and a lot of profit taking happening in this area. So I do think Pound can push to the upside. We broke through a strong trend line not too long ago. And it's still holding as resistance as well. Support, sorry. So it was resistance, now support. So I do think Pound can find some strength and start to rally. But yeah, we'll see, because it's a little bit more aggressive. We're at the lows of the trend, not the best place to buy into a trending market here. But I do expect Pound to turn bullish. So maybe if you can put some higher lows in, could look to get involved in one of them, or maybe if you can clear this resistance here, look for the break and retest. That could still be an option to get long. And for targets, like I said in my weekly analysis, if you guys haven't checked that out, feel free to go do so. But I've been speaking about Pound getting back up to 1.33600. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting for Pound USD, but I'll probably give it some time. Usd Jpy 1 hour, any ideas? Sure thing. Pound CAD I couldn't speak there. And NZD CAD, yeah, sure. Okay, so USD Jpy. Okay, so yeah, USD Jpy, I've got a bearish bias for this one. Again, I do expect DXY weakness, so I'm pretty much bearish on all USD pairs. Well, depending where how it's partnered with. Obviously, I'm bullish on Euro USD. But Usd Jpy, I do think this one can roll over. It's not looking the cleanest pair, I do have to admit. I was expecting to come into the week for price just to roll over, but I've seen a bit of an upside here, and potentially that's just consolidation or price pushing up one more time to find some resistance. Obviously, the area that I do think price is struggling to break through, which is this area here, is the area that will send the market down. So essentially, if you're looking to trade this, as long as you have a fairly wide stop loss above this wick here, which is above that resistance, you know, we should expect USD Jpy to roll over. It's just that USD Jpy is quite choppy, definitely not the cleanest pair there. Onto the hourly time frame, you can see prices spike back into this area. Looks like it's forming a double top. Looks like it's forming a double top there. So hourly, I do have to admit, is a little bit clearer than looking at the 4H. We do have a slight trend line here, which if that momentum does continue, price probably will break through. Tried to do it last candle, failed to do so, so maybe can do it this candle. But yeah, USD Jpy is still bearish bias. It's still holding that 113,800 level, which essentially, as long as we stay underneath, keep projecting it, I do think we will roll over back down to these lows. So yeah, it depends, you know, what your risk appetite is. You can get short, you know, pretty quickly with USD Jpy, you know, safe stop loss, or maybe you could wait for price to maybe break through that trend line, look for lower high, and then take it down, or maybe you can wait for price to break through this support here, and then yeah, see if you can get a break and retest that. That will obviously be the safest option. Price doesn't have to do the retest, of course, but yeah, USD Jpy, I'm biased, I'm bearish bias with this one. As long as we stay below that key level, which I think price is doing, is just a very, very choppy pair. Again, I did choose to trade Euro USD rather than USD Jpy, simply because Euro USD was a lot cleaner. But essentially, you know, if US dollar is going to be weak, USD Jpy most likely will come down, and Euro USD will go up. So I did need to trade both, to be honest. But yeah, USD Jpy is looking good here. It's looking good. If that momentum can continue, either break of that support, or you can simply look to short and just have your stop loss in a safe area. But yeah, just the 4H is the only thing that I don't like. It's just too choppy. So yeah, I hope that helped. Pound CAD, sure thing. Okay, so pound CAD still looking bullish. I did say to you guys on my weekly analysis that potentially we could get to the yeah, good morning, Isaac. I forgot to say good morning there. How you doing, bro? Welcome to the stream. But yeah, pound CAD, nice area to short, but it looks like it might be breaking through that level, especially with the prior candlestick there on the 4H, wick to the downside, grabbing liquidity, and actually closes a bullish hammer. So yeah, momentum for pound CAD firmly to the upside. Nice place to short, but we haven't had any confirmations. Yes, we had a nice wick there yesterday on the 4H, but if it drops that hourly time frame, you know, price kind of lost all that momentum there. And during that aging session, we tried to roll over come London, but it actually, you know, price gave us another higher low potentially. If it takes out that wick, probably will be a high low, but another high low formation, and price is continuing. So the bullish trend here is still very much intact for pound CAD. If you're looking for sells in this area, I'd wait for a structural break here. So either market breaks through that low, a lower high somewhere, then you can get short on that. On the retest, that'll be a much safer lower high to get involved, just because pound CAD right now is looking very, very strong. I think CAD's quite weak across the board. And yeah, it could break through that level. Of course, there's nothing stopping it. I did say if we do break through that level, I do think pound CAD will probably make its way back into these highs, which is where price could be heading to. So if you're looking to get short, be careful. Wait for structure to shift down the hourly time frame. Wait for us to get a lower high involved. Shorting here is too risky. And if we do break through that, we are likely to push through, you know, into those highs, and then we can look to short again. Probably, you know, just scope that range back down to 1.69400. So there could be some nice shorts back up these highs here. Price has rejected that level very strongly, as you can see. Really nice resistance all across there. We probably will get some type of reaction from that level. So if you're looking for shorts, you know, be patient either from that level at 1.70800, or wait for structure to shift, because we could still stay bullish here. And I imagine USD CAD's trying to push up as well. A little bit choppy, but still trying to push up. Again, USD CAD was a tricky one, because on my weekly analysis, the weekly time frame was giving us one bias. Hey Lewis, how you doing? Welcome to the stream, bro. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, on the weekly time frame, we're getting one bias. On the daily time frame, we'll get another. So as you can see here, really nice area of resistance. So potentially we got the break of the resistance, break of the support, coming back to test it as resistance, looking for continuation. So that's daily is bearish, But if we go to the weekly time frame, the weekly had a false break of this level, big wick to the downside, pull back up and close just above that level. So potentially all of this price action here was false, and we could be seeing a push to the upside here for USD CAD. Looking at things from a weekly point of view, daily looks like price is starting to agree with the weekly if we can manage to break through this. Again, this daily candle is still open, still 11 hours of trading left. But if we can push on there, get a nice strong close down the daily, I would say, looking for a retest of that level is looking like a really good chance to get involved long and see some nice upside, because weekly, daily will be looking bullish for both of them. 4 hours is choppy, but at the end of the day, it's still bullish, still creating higher highs, higher lows. So yeah, if we can get a nice pullback, high low, I think price will probably push on, which does agree with pound CAD as well, expecting that CAD weakness, which obviously did push USD CAD all the way back to highs, as you can see. And USD CAD was a funny one. I did warn you guys on my weekly analysis that USD CAD again did have a bearish bias for USD CAD since we tanked to the downside, broken through all these key levels here, was looking for a lower high for price to roll over. But I did say to you guys, that kind of pullback where it's so impulsive, again, it's inviting so many sellers here, and it potentially could just be forming a higher low for price to push on and give us a push back into resistance, or probably a higher high as well. So you do have to be careful with things like that. Again, waiting for confirmation. I said to you guys I'll be looking for sales at this area here, and we did see some nice reactions if I dropped to the hourly. However, again, it did turn quite choppy, so I was going to wait for price to break through this area here of support, because it was ranging in here. Wait for price to either break to the upside and continue, or break to the downside and give me that reversal, and then I would have got short there for a much safer entry there to short USD CAD to the downside. However, we broke to the upside, very bullish, then we can get the retest as well, and yeah, price is still pushing strong. So CAD is definitely weak. I'm pretty sure every CAD pair is probably pushing up, obviously apart from CAD JPY and CAD CHF. But yeah, CAD's definitely weak. USD CAD could potentially be good for sales now, to be honest, at this resistance. Obviously, do watch out if CAD remains weak. But if DXY can push down, which it is doing very aggressively on the DXY there, I do think USD CAD can see some downside, but it's just careful. They're definitely better USD pairs to get involved with. Pound USD, I think, is a good one that's warming up for a nice move, looking bullish there. I think if we can obviously clear this resistance here, the buyers will be looking good. I'm currently in Euro USD long, so again, that pair you probably have to wait for a pullback to get involved. And Usd Jpy, I'm expecting that one to roll over as well. But because this one's so choppy, you can either wait for a break of the trend line or break of that support there for the safer entries. But again, Usd Jpy is obviously partnered with JPY, so it means it does move a little bit different to the other USD pairs. But I still do expect this pair to roll over. Morning, Sharif. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream, bro. Sure thing. AUD JPY. We'll take a look. So yeah, AUD JPY. This pair we've seen some nice upside recently. A really nice push there on the day, on the 4H. Sorry. Take a look at price action on the daily. So on the daily, we did come to a very key level of resistance in the market. As you can see, support, resistance, bit of a fake out there, massive break, and we had a retest not too long ago at 81,500. So price came into this level and is respecting that, but overall we've had quite a nice push. Potentially we could be looking to actually go and have another test of that level, potentially break through it. We have to find out. But price right now is looking a little bit bearish here. We've had this nice push there, slight pullback, nice push, creating that low, lower high, lower low. So either price is getting ready to roll back over, or it's giving us a bullish flag pattern there to continue. The only way to find out is to see how price reacts on its way to the upside. So far, we've seen some nice wicks there, so it's giving us the impression that you potentially might roll over, but again, that's probably not enough for us to get short and actually anticipate that move down, since we are still coming back into a heavy area of support looking to the left all of these wicks here, price grabbing liquidity, finding support, and obviously this area gave us a strong push. So I'll say the safest scenario to get short on the 80JPY, probably the best one, most probable would be a break of this 8700 zone, retest that resistance, and then shorts will be looking good, and potentially could see price come back to lows here, potentially for a really nice swing, double top continuation. But if we do hold on to that level, we might actually put in that bullish flag pattern that I was speaking about, and price could be looking to go and break through that resistance, or at least retest it, retest that area again. But in my opinion, I think we will see that push to the upside, and a push into that level, potentially a break. But again, we'll wait for those confirmations, because not some nice wicks there you want to buy into. So if we can start to throw some wicks to the downside again, buys will be looking good. If we come and just break through, price will probably turn resistance, look for lower higher in the retest, and then you can just sell it back down there. But for 80JPY, we'll see what happens with that level, because that is a very, very strong level, key level, if price can hold that, because we did spike through it again during the Asian session as well. So it is still holding. We might be seeing some continuations back up into that resistance. Hey Rex, how you doing? Yeah, sure, take a look at Euro USD. So yeah, Euro USD, I'm currently long on this pair, looking for a move back up into these highs here. I do think for Euro USD we can actually make a move all the way up into this area here, because if you go on the daily time frame real quick, you can see price pretty much is consolidating here. All this price action, price has already made a direction for a few days, so it's all consolidation. So if we do break to the upside out of consolidation, the obvious next point of resistance here on the daily would be this doji here, which created that supply for that move to the downside. Obviously, I do expect to see price eventually come back into this area, but again, that's quite far away. I'm not going to be too greedy there with Euro USD. So I do think we've got a good chance of moving into that area there at 1.14400. So overall, if you're not really in Euro USD, looking to get involved in Euro USD on a pullback does make a lot of sense. I did enter a trade yesterday on that one, suffered some retracement there, but price still stayed above my key level, and we've seen a really nice push there. So if Euro USD can obviously break through one of these levels here, look for a retest, you can look to get long and simply trade it through level to level, taking profit when and where is necessary. But as of right now, I think Euro USD is onto this level here, looking very, very strong, especially with that momentum. So I think Euro USD back up into 1.13700 is looking good. Yeah, I'm fully bullish on this pair. DXY looks like that one's falling. I'm expecting DXY back down to this support here. So if that comes to fruition, then Euro USD most likely will move up higher. So yeah, Euro USD heavily bullish on this one. Just waiting for the pullback. You can look at to get involved there on a pullback, but this one I think is potentially getting ready to break out all of this choppy price action, and that's where I think it will go. But at least we'll probably see a move into that level. So yeah, I hope that helped. Euro USD buy. Well, yeah, I'm currently in a Euro USD buy. So yeah, if you're looking to get Euro USD buy now, you can do. Obviously, your stop loss will be a little bit bigger, but essentially, you just want to have your stop loss beneath this, key zone of support / demand. Price keeps spiking into this one, finding support. So as long as your stop loss is below this level here, you should be fine for Euro USD. Sorry. And yeah, that's why I do expect price to go. Let me just clear this up a little bit, so it's not so cluttered. Yeah, I think Euro USD, if the momentum continues, of course, I think it's onto this level here first, and then that level there next. So yeah, Euro USD buy looks very good with that momentum. Was losing a lot of momentum yesterday, but today, it's looking very strong. Pound JPY, sure thing. I'd love to see that, Rex. Yeah, Pound JPY bullish on this one as well. Again, pound JPY has been a little bit choppy because pound has been quite weak recently. Obviously, you can compare it to euro. Euro JPY and euro USD looking strong, both of them, whereas pound USD and pound JPY are only starting to see that strength again. But pound JPY, I'm still expecting a move to the upside for this one. I mean, this one, pretty much consolidation here. But I'm treating this as a nice head and shoulders pattern there. As you can see, we've got the left shoulder here with the bearish candle, the bullish candle from the left shoulder, the head with the false break. I've retested this shoulder numerous times. And this level here is obviously the neckline for the head and shoulders. So I think price is gonna break through that neckline there and push on, because pound JPY is still at that very critical level of support there. Very, very big moves to the upside. I do believe we can see a push into this support term resistance here and see a push into 152,500. So for me, I'm buys on for pound JPY. I'm looking for position. That was a nasty bearish candle there, potentially expecting price to roll over, but price has found support again. So I think the buys are firmly back on for pound JPY. I'm going to be waiting for a daily close above this resistance here, the neckline. As soon as we see that daily close, hopefully we can get it today. Then tomorrow I'll look for a pullback onto this level. So the wick of the next day's candle into that level. Now I'll be looking to get long and see if I can ride it into 152,500 up there. So yeah, I'm long on pound JPY. Well, not long, but long bias on pound JPY. Looking to get long on this one. Hopefully on a break and retest of that level. But I think price right now is holding on to a strong trend line for a drop into the hourly time frame. So yeah, price is still bouncing off this trend line here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So essentially, if it does pull back into the trend line again, you can use that as another chance to look to get involved. Or you can wait for the break of that neckline. Depends how risky you want to trade it and what type of trader you are, of course. But yeah, pound JPY for me, I think it's getting ready to reverse. And yeah, I'm thinking 152,500 is looking good. Maybe further as well, but yeah, pound JPY to the upside is looking good. Gold, yeah, sure thing. We'll take a look at gold. So gold coming into the week, I'm been expecting price to push up back into, we're going to daily quickly, back into this level here of 1810. So I'm looking for pushing to 1810 for gold. Since price is really holding on to this support here, which I did actually expect price to break through last week, we failed to do that. I had a nice bounce. Overall gold, to be honest, is quite choppy. I mean, this is pretty much consolidation here, really. We tried to get kind of a false break. I mean, tried to get a break yesterday. It turned out to be a little bit, weak. Still did break through kind of that resistance, but it's a very, very weak break. I do think we can still push on, but yeah, like I said, gold is just a little bit choppy right now. I did say on my weekly analysis that if we can get past this trend line here, which we did, and hold on to this support, which we are trying desperately to do, I think the buyers will be looking good for gold. So we're kind of just trading above this level at 1783. If we can put some nice wicks into this level, so maybe this candle here pushes on, it comes back above, that could be a really nice signal to get long for gold. And I only say that because gold is actually putting wicks to the upside here. You can see that exaggerated wick, another exaggerated wick. That's not a good sign if you're looking to buy into a certain pair. If price is putting wicks in the direction you're trying to buy into. So looking for price to kind of reverse, put some wicks in the other direction, and then that could be a nice confirmation to get long, because potentially we could actually break through this level and see another drive back into that daily zone. And then potentially let's get long from there if we have a nice confirmation, of course. But for me, gold, I'm bullish on gold, but it's just very choppy. So there's clearer pairs out there, so I'm not focusing on gold too much. But if I was to pick a direction, I'll be looking to trade it back into 1810. But I'm definitely waiting for a little bit more confirmation in that area before I do get long. It's too choppy for me, and it potentially could roll over. Hey, Mr. Nobody. Yeah, sure. US 30. We'll take a look, see what's happening there. Okay, so US 30. US 30, we've seen some nice bullish price action recently. Obviously, dumped the downside, but price completely reversed the area. we're coming back into the same area that we're speaking about, which price put all those wicks in on the daily. Nice support there as well. We're coming back into 35,600. So if we can put some more wicks here, I'm expecting price to turn and flip bullish. If it breaks through, we might be coming down to retest some areas. We do have some areas of support resistance here. Demand at 35,300. We never tested this area here, so we could actually dump that far. I don't think we will. If we can hold on to this and put some more wicks in, which I think price can do, more wicks into 35,600, which is that support there, just taken across. Hold on to that area. I think buyers will be looking good and can take that higher. Break through, and then we'll probably be looking at some of these levels here. All those wicks there on the left, potentially some of those levels. But I do think price can, like we did over there on the left, putting all those wicks to the downside. A really nice hammer stick candle there, rejecting that area. Then yeah, longs will be looking good, and you can trade it back into these highs here, maybe even higher. If not, we break through, then you're looking at one of these levels price will probably reach. So yeah, just keep an eye out for price action here. And yeah, if we do see some nice rejection, I would say buyers will be looking good, and you can take it back up into that level up there. But so far, we do need a little bit more than that. Pound AUD, I do have my eyes on for some sales for this one. I'm looking for price action to roll over. We had this massive dump to the downside last week. Last week I was looking for retracement for price to pull back up for me, come back down again. However, sadly we didn't really see pound AUD do that. We had some slight retracement, ever so slight. You can see that bullish candle there on the 4H. That's all the retracement we got, which is barely even retracement. It's more like consolidation sideways, and then the follow through. So didn't see any retracement that I was looking for pound AUD. However, we're looking a little bit bullish now. So if the market does want to continue that bearish leg over, we're seeing some healthy retracement. Potentially we could be getting that rollover this week. If I do get a fib out from that high to the low, we just about tapped into the 0.382, 50% up there, so maybe there's still a bit more room to the upside, which is completely fine. Just means if it does turn bearish, we could sell it off a lot more, catch more pips. But we have pulled into a very key area that I have been keeping my eye on, which is this resistance here on the left, that support now turn resistance. And if we can find resistance here, which so far we are doing with those wicks, we can roll over back down to the lows and maybe target some of these areas if the reversal is fully going to happen. But on the daily time frame, we put a nice wick in yesterday. Maybe if today's candle can pull back as well, put another wick in, then tomorrow we could see the follow through and price roll over. Onto the 4H, price is still a little bit too bullish for me. Especially don't like that candlestick there on the 4H, how he wicked to the downside and pulled all the way back up, like 80-90% of that candle. You can see hourly, still looking bullish there. High low, high low, high low, high low, that the market respected. And it's driving back up into that resistance. So if the market maybe can reject that again heavily, that could be some nice shorts, or maybe a break of this trend line here. That could be some nice shorts as well. But yeah, I am looking for those shorts for pound ADs. Hit a nice key level, hit a nice key psychological level as well, 1.86. As you can see, nice area of supply, support, resistance on the left. Key level going through there. Some really nice confidence in this area. So pound AUD, if it is wishing to turn bearish, this is probably the area where I do expect it to happen. So I do have my eyes on pound AUD for some sales. Bit too premature for me. It's going to be a little bit more conservative with this one. Like I said, if you either reject it heavily again or we break through that trend line, I'll definitely be interested to see if I can get a nice entry. And yeah, I'll be looking to short this one back into the previous lows and then see if we can push it into some levels down there. But pound AUD for me is on the watch list for price to roll over. AUD, sure thing. So yeah, AUD, similar price action to AUD Jpy. Again, AUD, I did analyze this one on my weekly analysis. I said looking for buys for this one, mainly because I'm expecting that DXY weakness. So I do think AUD can see some upside, and of course AUD has recently collapsed the downside and hasn't really seen much retracement. So I do think it's time for AUD to see that retracement, maybe roll over again or maybe reverse. We'll find out, but I do think that retracement is needed for AUSD, and if we do have that DXY weakness this week, I do think we'll see that follow through. So AUSD recently just rejected this support term resistance. You can see all the wicks price was placing into that area, 1, 2, 3, 4. We failed to sustain that to break through that resistance, and we did roll over. However, we rolled back into a nice area of support, which is this major push here, taking that across. So price has kind of got a nice little scope here of support and resistance from 0.7192 all the way up to 0.71770. So nice area, about 66 pips there to the upside. You can look for buys in this area. That was a really nice candlestick pattern there, nice wick. Again, didn't see it is an engulfing candle, but of course that wick there is not the most confident sign. But essentially all we're looking for is price to hold this and push back to the upside, and if we can break through this, we'll have a really nice head and shoulder pattern of the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, the neckline there, and then the continuation. So potentially we could be getting that reversal there for AUSD if we can reject this area, form the right shoulder, and then we can be looking for a bigger push. So this could be the first high or low, of that, not reversal but retracement that we're expecting. Then maybe we can turn bearish after that. So yeah, buys are looking good from here. If I drop to that hourly time frame, it was not the most convincing push, so we might roll back over again, retest that, and then push on, which will give us a nice opportunity to get long. And then yeah, first target will be that resistance, the neckline, and if you can break through the neckline, price probably go a lot further. So yeah, AUSD mainly looking for buys if we can hold that key level intact, which of course is that level there. Of course, break underneath that, we might roll over back down to lows depending on the retest, see what type of price action we can get. But yeah, looking from this right now, price rejecting that quite nicely. So yeah, I'll be looking for longs if I was looking to get involved with AU and looking to target that neckline up there. AUSD looking strong in my opinion. Europound, look at Euro and Pound, sure thing as well, Lewis, but yeah, I'll look at Europound first. So yeah, Europound still keeping up with that theme of higher lows. Price respected this support here last week. Didn't quite come down, but it looks like it's forming a higher low. So I do think Europound will probably see another move back up into that resistance. Again, if I do zoom out quickly for this one, we do have a nice trend line keeping us in a bearish channel here, and a nice bullish channel. Bullish trend line, not bullish trend line, sorry, the lower trend line there. So we've got that bearish channel, descending channel. We pushed up into that resistance. Price, however, is still respecting this kind of intermediate trend here. Push, pull back, push, pull back, push. Potentially another pullback for another attempt to break through that channel there. So I think if that price action keeps up, which looks like it is, I do think Euro Pound, because it looks like price is putting another higher low here, double bottom, for price to push on. So I think we're going to see another test that trend line back up into that resistance. If we reject that, you can probably look to sell it back down again. But right now, Euro Pound's looking bullish here. Euro, is definitely the stronger pair against Pound. So yeah, I think Euro Pound probably will see another move back up into that resistance, and then potentially some sells after that if we can reject it. Yeah, but we're looking bullish here for Euro Pound. Euro USD, like I said, for this one, still looking heavily bullish. I'm expecting Euro USD to move back up into this resistance here, just that resistance there on the left. So Euro Pound, not Euro Pound, we just did Euro Pound. Euro USD for me looks like it's putting a higher low. We did have this very key level of support on Euro USD. Support, demand, pretty much the same thing in this area. Price spiking into this area, grabbing liquidity. We held this area 1.2700, and from here we're expecting it and turn bullish again. So I think Euro USD is now going to be onto 1.3700 up there. which is that key level of resistance here. Formed our lower high, we couldn't break through it. I think we'll have another attempt to try and break through it. If we can, I think Euro USD will move up into this level here. We broke through this support, never got the retest. So if you do break through that, we do have quite clean price action on the left, where we just broke through, didn't see any interference until this area. So if we do break through this area, we should see a fairly clean move back up into that resistance, 62 pips there. So yeah, for me, Euro USD, I'm looking at 1.14400 as the overall target, but I do think we can push into this level here if the momentum does keep up. So yeah, Euro USD, I'm expecting more upside. Currently in trade for that one as well. Pound USD looking good as well. I do have my eyes on Pound USD, but this one a little bit more trickier to trade than Euro USD. Pound was quite weak yesterday. We saw that across most pound pairs, but pound essentially still respecting this support. You can see this wick here was created by news. Price still trying to break through that support. You can see how many wicks prices put into this area, trying to break through, failed to do so, keep getting rejected. So for me, this is saying that the bulls are stepping in strong at this area and most likely will reject price to the upside. We do have that kind of last obstacle because we've broken through the trend line. Price is now using the trend line as support, which is a good sign of course for the buyers. But we do have this last obstacle here, which held price there to the downside, and again yesterday. So if you're looking for buys, the best scenario would be waiting for the retest of that high, getting involved there. Obviously you can look for buys here, slightly just slightly more riskier. That's the only thing. Obviously the risk reward would be better, more pips to catch, buying from a better price. But yeah, it depends what your risk appetite is, what type of trader you are, what fits your strategy. But yeah, break and retest of that looks good because that's the high price is struggling to break through. So if you can break and retest that, we probably will get the continuation to the upside, but you can also look to get long from this level here if we come back and reject it again. And as for targets for Europound, like I said to you guys, looking at this support here, turn resistance, we formed that low there, we tested it a few times, came to the downside and formed the top of the trend line there. So if we do have that breakout and sustain that momentum, that is where I'm expecting price to go to 1.33600, which is that level. If we can break through, we might go higher, but yeah, I think Pound USD is going to try and make that move as well. Bullish on Pound JPY as well, and those pairs do move quite similar. So yeah, I do think we'll see that move to the upside. Might take some time though, but yeah, I think Pound USD slowly or maybe quickly, depending what happens with Pound. But I do think we can see that move. Thanks, Lewis. Yeah, guys, if you do enjoy the stream, you do enjoy the content, you find it useful, feel free to leave a like on the stream. It does really help the stream out, helps the channel out. I do appreciate that, guys. Subscribe to the channel, of course. If you haven't done already, join the family. But yeah, guys, any pairs that you guys are looking at, feel free to share. We'll take a look at together. Also, let me know what time frames you're working at as well, so I can be a bit more specific and detailed to what type of setups you guys are looking for. Because I'm more of a swing trader, of course. Some of you might be day traders or scalpers. Yeah, hopefully Euro is fairly strong, but obviously if you're looking to buy Euro USD or a Euro pair, hopefully it stays strong and gets stronger, of course. But yeah, Euro USD looking good. Yesterday the price actually wasn't so good when I enter the trade, because we were coming into this area, which was my first place I was looking to get involved for the buys. I did say if price was to clear this resistance as well, I'll probably look to get involved in the buys for the break and retest. But because Euro USD started off quite weak during the Asian session, rolled over, and during, I think it was late London, we were coming to that support. So I was very interested in getting long from here yesterday for Euro USD. And as soon as I started seeing those wicks form, I was very confident price will push to the upside there, because it was showing a lot of rejection. And I know that on the 4H we had this strong bearish candle there into the level that, for people trying to trade in the opposite direction, that strong bearish candle, a lot of people could be shorting into that, and then with those wicks, we could just reverse and just take out that trade. So yeah, got into the trade after that bullish candle closed. Stop loss just give me a bit of room as well, just in case we wick to the downside a few more times. Nice move to the outside. Price, however, retraced back down, back into that level. Then I woke up around here-ish, where price was just back around break even, back into that support. So, essentially price, my kind of setup is still invalid really, even though it's gone in my favor and come back against me. As long as price is holding on to that key zone there, there's no point for me to exit the trade or start to panic or anything. If obviously price was to start breaking through this, then I could just cut the trade short or let it hit my stop loss. But if price held on to that, there's no point for me to exit the trade. So yeah, EURUSD, I do think will move up to the highs. I've been analyzing DXY a lot lately, and since it's been hanging on to 96,400, I'm expecting DXY to absolutely drop back down to 95.20, and because DXY has been consolidating for a long time, very, very tightly as well, if we do break out the way I expect it to do, DXY could really, really drop, because all of this price is accumulating, building up, and will relieve itself. It's kind of like how volcanoes work pretty much. The magma builds up, everything gets heated, and then all that pressure explodes. You do see that a lot with consolidation. Price builds up, explodes, builds up, explodes, and this is a very, very build up, so it could explode a lot. And also DXY has been on that crazy run to the upside, so I do think potentially we could actually make our way all the way back down to retest this resistance here, which never got retested when we did break through. We're due a retest of that, so we could actually use this consolidation to give us that move down there, which obviously means that EURUSD is going to be flying, pound USD is going to be flying eventually. AUD, NZD-USD could be pushing to the upside quite aggressively as well. So yeah, I think DXY is gonna fall. Again, we'll see what happens fundamentally with the news and everything. But from a technical standpoint, DXY looks like that one's gonna fall. EURUSD hopefully do the exact same but in the opposite direction. And that was looking good as well. Very strong push this morning. Pound USD, I'm expecting that to continue. That's what I said, the break and retest is looking very, very good there. USD Jpy, I'm expecting that to continue as well. However, again, USD and JPY, very, very funny pair, because USD and JPY tend to do the exact same thing. Same with like Europound, AUD, NZD, those type of pairs. Sometimes they can give you good moves, other times they can consolidate and just be very, very time consuming, like what price is doing here. I still do expect price to roll over for USD Jpy, but we need to see some shift between USD and JPY, because I'm expecting JPY to be weak and USD to be weak for this week. So you can see pound JPY pushing up, Euro JPY pushing up, Euro USD pushing up. So we're seeing the exact same thing here, which is another reason why, again, you don't have to trade so many pairs. Just pick which ones are looking the best and place your bet on those pairs. You don't really need to over trade or over leverage yourself on a massive amount of pairs. You just need to catch this a good trade, once a week, and you're good, to be fair. USD CHF, big bearish candles. We'll take a look. Yep, USD CHF melting to the downside. Again, another USD pair. So for this one, we'll be expecting USD to come to the downside here. So USD CHF, I'm expecting price to roll over. You can see the lower highs price is putting in here. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So it's giving us information there that price was going to melt, and still hasn't really melted yet, but I do think we'll pick up steam as soon as we break through this support. USD CHF will pick up its steam and really dump. I think USD CHF is coming back down to these lows here. That's what I'm expecting price to come into. Price giving us those lower highs, and as long as those lower highs stay intact, so we might even pull back one more time. I think that would just be price giving us a chance to enter the trade if you're looking to trade it. And I do think the 0.91 is where USD CHF is headed. So yeah, USD CHF, in my opinion, you can see those wicks on the daily chart. We're having a nice break and retest of this low here. So really nice support then on the left, time resistance, price going to break through. And if it can't break through, it's going to relieve itself in the opposite direction. Just keeping it simple, and that's where I do expect price to head to. Obviously, we do have this support here, which will cause some interference, but I do think price will break through. It's forming a lower low there, lower high. I'm expecting a lower low, at this same level at 0.91. So yeah, USD Jpy, another USD pair. I'm bearish on the DXY, so I would expect this one to roll over. And if you're looking for entries, if we do pull back from a low high, great, you can look to enter there. Or if you do form a break and retest, great, you can look to enter on the retest. And then yeah, look to short this one back down. But you're definitely correct there. USD Jpy is putting in some big bearish candles, so yeah, I'm expecting this one to roll over. Hey MJ, how are you doing? Thoughts on USD? Okay, let's take a look. I don't think I've ever, well, maybe I have looked at that pair before, but definitely not recently. So we'll see what's going on with US dollar, Hong Kong dollar. We'll see what's going on with this one. So looking quite bullish here. Again, it is part of the US dollar, and USD is quite weak right now, but obviously Hong Kong dollar must be a lot weaker since this one's actually pushing to the upside. So yeah, we're looking bullish here on the daily. Price is still giving us higher highs, higher lows here, and it looks like we're clearing this resistance, or at least trying to anyway. Going to the 4H time frame, that was our previous swing high, which we're trying to spike through. So okay, so we've formed some new highs with those wicks down the 4H above that previous higher high. But again, it's not the most convincing because you can see all of those wicks there, price is putting in. This doesn't give us a good, what's the word? Doesn't give us good backing that USD HKD is about to continue to rip to the upside here. And actually it could just be a false break of the highs to roll over. So I'd say USD Jpy, be a little bit patient with this one because we could see some downside. Again, I'm not just sure about Hong Kong dollar, but I know USD will be weak. Obviously USD is not as strong as the Hong Kong dollar right now, but that could change. So yeah, if price can start putting some wicks to the downside, then yes, we're probably holding this as support, and you can look for buys simply on the break and retest of this level here. Price breaking through, retest, continuation. But since we're putting all those wicks to the upside, it is telling us that potentially this could be a false breakout, trapping people on the wrong side of the market, looking to buy into that just for price to go the opposite way. So we can either do one or two things here. We can snap right back underneath this level. In that case, I'll be looking to get short, look for the lower high, and then look for a push down. Probably first target would be this support here. Next target maybe down there somewhere. But yeah, if we can snap back underneath that level on the 4H, drop to your hourly, look for some pullbacks or something. Or if we start putting some wicks to the downside here on the 4H and price starts holding this area, then you can look for the break and retest entry and then trade that higher, and then yeah, just continue the trend. But again, the trend is still definitely bullish here, so you're gonna have to wait for price to snap back underneath that level to confirm the false break. But if it doesn't and it starts holding a support, then yeah, the break and retest is looking good for price to push on. Hey Will, how are you doing? Should not have closed ADNZD. Yeah, is ADNZD flying then? Well, still looking bullish. Yeah, I did say for ADNZD, to be honest, that if price can break through this level here before these wicks, I do think price will head up to the highs. So yeah, I do think that's where ADNZD is still headed to. I mean, you can still look for re-entries if we can see some retracement for this pair, maybe back into the retest this level and then continue. Then you can probably grab some entries around there. But yeah, ADNZD for me is still looking bullish. I still think 1.066 thousand, or 1.06 prices is the target for this one. So I think that's a high low high. I think we're going to challenge those highs. But yeah, if price does retrace, retest that level, there could be some nice longs to get back involved. Exit pound CAD, euro CAD shorts before stop loss. Yeah, those pairs are absolutely reversed. Pound CAD and euro CAD both reversed very, very aggressively. Pound CAD still looking bullish here. Pound CAD failed to sustain that support there or break through it. It did close below, but the next one closed right back above, and from there we've seen a lot of momentum. And euro CAD as well, we had a nice push to the downside, but then it's breaking back above this key area, which is where we were looking for price to push on first of all. And now, yeah, EuroCAD, I do think it's back onto 1.46, to be honest, into that level there. I think EuroCAD is most likely going to make that push. We will see how price gets on though. Okay, USD CAD long. USD CAD's been a bit dodgy for this one because I've got a little bit mixed bias for USD CAD. USD I'm quite bearish on right now. I'm expecting USDXY to fall. So yeah, I'm expecting weakness in the dollar, but obviously CAD right now is very, very weak as well. So I'm not really too interested looking to short USD CAD. But yeah, we potentially could go further because on my weekly analysis, I did say for USD CAD that we did have quite a steep move to the upside here, and this pullback here, this move to the downside could just be a pullback, price forming that higher low, now for price to continue higher high, because we could actually go and take out some of these wicks here to the left and give us some new highs, which I think USD CAD could be on its way to do, because I'm not too interested in shorting it. Like I said, even though I do think weakness in the dollar, but I think CAD right now is pretty much guiding USD CAD really. So if CAD's going to be weak, I think USD will push on. So yeah, looking good for USD CAD. We still do have that resistance on the left, that local resistance, but if that momentum does keep up, obviously depending where your stop loss is, I do think we can take those highs, start pushing into those wicks at 1.289 and 1.294. So yeah, I think we can still push on for USD CAD. If we can keep up that CAD weakness. Pound CAD long, Pound CAD's looking very, very strong as well. I think Pound CAD snapping through that level in the lower time frames most likely will push back up into this level of resistance here. For me, my bias for Pound CAD will really kick into the long side once we clear this level here at 1.70684. Once we clear that, then the reverse will be definitely on. Now I'm expecting price to really push on. But yeah, for you, Pound CAD, I'll say watch out for this level of resistance here, because this is a level that did send us to the down a couple of weeks ago. Or was it last week? It might have been last week. But yeah, this is the level that sent us to the downside previously. So do watch out for 1.70700, because that could send price right back down to your entry or something like that, or maybe even further. But if we can smash through that, then you should be in a really nice trade there, and then I would expect price to go a lot further. But yeah, that resistance could be an obstacle, but if we can break through, then I think Pound CAD will see a lot more upside. And CAD CHF, again, another CAD pair. CAD's been very, very weak recently as well. CAD CHF rolling over. Looks like CAD CHF just had a break and retest of that support there, looking short. Probably will go and take out that low there. And I think Pound CAD, is pretty much just trying to come back into the lows of that wick. So yeah, CAD CHF looking good. I mean, I was looking at this one in the higher time frame. I think price here just put another lower high in. So I do think this wick here will break. I do think price will put in a new wick, but behind that, you can see by last week's weekly candle, nice wick to the upside, pulled all the way back down, showing rejection, showing us that the bears are still very much in control on the higher time frames. So that means momentum is still with the bears. So yeah, I do think we can take out that wick down the left. I think these are just lower highs. Price tried to turn bullish a couple of times, the bears have stepped back in. So yeah, we're probably going to roll over here, lower high. Obviously do have that support there, could cause some interference, but I do think the overall target for CAD CHF would be that low there at 0.71. So yeah, looking good there. Obviously hopefully CAD can keep that weakness up, which I think it will do. But yeah, CAD looking bearish. No problem, NJ, happy to help. Yeah, sure thing, we'll take a look at UK oil. Okay, so yeah, because again, yeah, you are in a few CAD pairs there, so obviously oil will help kind of get that correlation between oil and CAD, but essentially take a look at this on the daily time frames to try and stay in sync with your trades, which on the daily time frames as well, not really looking too much into the lower time frames. But yeah, oil, we've had that big pullback of obviously coming back to the downside. I think this is probably most likely forming that higher low formation. We tapped back into a trend line here recently. Nice wick there, nice bullish close. So from a weekly point of view, we've just put a bullish engulfing candle there. We could see the next week push on. On the daily chart here, a little bit of consolidation. We're coming into that wick there. So price is struggling to break through that, but overall not really doing too much. We do have obviously this major level here, which was our previous, higher high, higher low, just above us at 77. So I think the key thing to take into account is 77, because potentially we could actually roll over bearish from there. But if we can snap through that level, then we could be seeing oil push on a lot further. But yeah, oil is just a little bit messy right now. So it's consolidating in that area. It needs to make up its mind whether it wants to see some downside again or push up. But yeah, oil's definitely tapped into that trend line into 70. So I think we can push on, but we just need to get that confirmation that oil is going to break through 77. If oil fails to break through 77 and it snaps back below, then we probably will dump to the downside, back down to the trend line, back down to 70. Probably don't expect price to break through the trend line, of course, never say never. But yeah, it depends what oil wants to do out of that consolidation there. Not looking too good in the 4H either. So yeah, if oil can snap to the downside, then yeah, we should see that weakness in CAD continue. But if it does snap through 77, price might push up. So yeah, just watch for the breakout. Watch for the breakout, which way we snap into, and that could help the correlation. Obviously, if CAD goes up, I mean, if the oil goes up, we do expect CAD to follow, and vice versa. But yeah, oil kind of consolidating there. EuroCAD actually could be some nice longs in the lower time frames. And higher time frames as well, but lower time frames obviously because I looked to get in that hourly. But yeah, I do think because EuroCAD now cleared this, I think EuroCAD basically has just put in a higher low here. So obviously we have the consolidation, the fake out to the move, and I think prices just create that high, the low, and now we're going to go take out these highs and put in a new high in at 1.46. So I'm looking at EuroCAD getting into this level here. Which obviously we broke through and never really got a retest from. We shattered that level, never got the retest from, and I think price is just going to go and retest those highs up there at 1.46. So I do think more upside for EuroCAD. I would like to see price come back and reconfirm this as support, put a bit more rejection there, could get long, trade that higher. So yeah, for me, EuroCAD looking good, pound CAD still looking strong as well, breaking through that level, most likely will push into 1.70500. Yeah, looking at the board, CAD looks weak. Big bounce on the weekly time frame, we'll take a look at that. USD CAD, oh, I'm on USD CAD, what was happening there? I was busy looking for USD CAD on my watch list, but it's right there. Okay, so yeah, let's get a little fib out. Okay, yeah, we snapped into that 0.382. So yeah, and the weekly candle as well pulled back so aggressively, which was not a good sign as well. Looking for those shorts, but yeah, we snapped back into that fib level, and price could push on. Like I said, with that move there, that could be a higher low. This here could be a higher low as well, big push, creating a higher high, higher low for push to the upside. So I wouldn't be surprised if USD CAD starts taking out those wicks down the left and pushing past them. Obviously, I do expect that dollar weakness, but I think CAD will be more of a catalyst of where this one could go. So yeah, from a weekly point of view, that momentum is still intact. One bearish candle here, that could just be a pullback on the weekly for continuation, and judging from price action on the daily as well, it's looking good for price to continue. So I do think price will push on a lot further. 1.289, 1.294. Oh, the impulse. Okay. So you're talking about this fib then? Okay. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I mean, we still did a fib of that level, but I can see the bigger kind of picture of price pushing up, forming that high low at 0.618, and then they continue to take out that zero there. Okay, so yeah, well, again, that's exactly what I was expecting price to do there, because if we do line that up with the, the minus 0.27 extension, we still get past that zero mark anyway. So yeah, it does make sense both ways. USD CAD is looking bullish there. If you put your fib there, 0.618 retracement, still looking like we're pushing to the upside, and that was quite a clean move down on the weekly. So yeah, USD CAD can still push up, take those highs. CAD's looking weak, so as long as that can continue, we can take those out. But yeah, USD CAD looking good. I mean, I don't even trade US30, to be honest. It's just a thing that I've noticed, because I do analyze US30, I do analyze Nasdaq and Bitcoin, so I do analyze other pairs outside Forex, but all my trades are on Forex. So yeah, I just take my knowledge from Forex and put it into other financial markets, which do kind of move very similar. Obviously they do have their differences, but yeah, I've noticed on US30 that whilst I analyze it, that double bottoms and double tops are very effective on that pair, especially when the wicks are evolved. But yeah, I didn't trade it as well, so I haven't even back tested that. I've just been noticing that, so it could be a thing to actually go and back test and see if you can build a strategy around that, the double tops and double bottoms in US30, because they do look to be very effective, from my analysis behind it. But I've never actually back tested it and see any actually results from it. It's just what I've seen from my eyes. So yeah, that could be something to actually back test, look into, and build a strategy from, to be honest. But yeah, I've never actually traded US30, so yeah, definitely not the most experienced. So don't take everything I say for US30 as gospel, because obviously I don't actually trade the pair, but I do keep up with my analysis for it, just in case if I do decide to start trading indices, I've got that knowledge. US30, US 100 short on the daily. Could we catch a market crash? Oh, potentially you could do. Let's see what happens. Okay, wow, we've seen quite an aggressive move there, breaking those lows. Wow, that's quite an aggressive move. Potentially could do. I did say to you guys that that was that 16,400, very key level of resistance. That if we can break through, I expect price to highs. If not, price could actually see another leg to the downside. So you potentially could actually catch a little collapse there. I'm not going to lie to you, because looking at everything, how prices moved here, we're definitely due a deeper pullback than this. We're due a deeper pullback than this. I mean, this is a nice pullback, but I think we can still see a deeper pullback than that, maybe into the 0.618, which would be over there, of course. So yeah, we could actually see another leg to the downside. And I wouldn't be surprised, because we do kind of still have that head and shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, it's still intact. Nice wicks into that. Obviously nice bearish engulfing down the daily as well. We could roll over. So yeah, potentially. I mean, looking at recent price action, yeah, potentially could actually catch a little collapse there. Again, I'm not going to look to trade it, so feel free. But yeah, I mean, from an analytical point of view, technical analysis, it does look like price is going to fall. If this was a Forex pair, I'll be quite confident price coming down. So yeah, I don't see why not. I don't see why not. How's Bitcoin looking these days? Bitcoin's still kind of rolling over. I did say potentially we could actually look to go and fill that wick in, which I think we can still do. Fill the wick back down to 42k. Come and really test that prior low there at 40k. See if we can hold on to that. Then maybe we might turn bullish from there. But yeah, Bitcoin not really giving us too much to believe in right now. Of course, this is all short term, immediate price action. But right now, price is still just about hanging on to that support, which I said if we can break through this support, then potentially we could go and fill that wick. What about hanging on to that support for dear life? We'll see what kind of price action we get as the day develops, but obviously that prior daily candle quite bearish, still indicating to us that the bears are still in control. So yeah, if that continues and we snap through that level there, I think Bitcoin will just roll over, fill the wick in back to 42k, come and test that support and maybe have that bounce to the upside. But yeah, Bitcoin tried to turn bullish, failed to do so. So yeah, it depends if we can hold on to that support or not. Again, I said that the better buyers are waiting for price to start looking bullish again, wait for price to start putting higher highs, higher lows, wait for some retracement, get into some buys there. Looking to anticipate the buys here can be difficult sometimes because you're still buying into a bearish market. In terms of the immediate price action, don't mean the overall market. So yeah, wait for it to shift bullish, wait for some higher highs, higher lows to be forming, and then look for some buys. Much more probable entry, and you can ride it to wherever you're looking to target. But here, a bit more aggressive buys could still leak over. Daily's not looking too good for Bitcoin. We will see what happens. That wick could actually be filled. We will see. Gold's still looking a little bit choppy here. So yeah, gold, like I said before, potentially could be a nice move back up to 1810, but price action is lacking, so I haven't been too fond with it right now. It was looking not bad last week, but my bias is not overall bullish, like 100% bullish, probably like 80% bullish. So I'm not completely convinced yet. I'm not really looking to trade it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, if we can start hanging onto that support a little bit better, because I was expecting price to use this support here on the left, so you can see really nice support there, support. So it's a price to break through that trend line, come back, retest the support, and then continue bullish, which is kind of doing right now. But because it's still throwing wicks to the upside, giving us some strong bearish closes, it's not really the best break and retest formation in the world. So that's why only 80%. It's not really looking too good. I did say at the start of the stream, if we could see a bit of a false break of this level, then we could be looking a lot better, getting some nice buys there, and then continue to the upside. But yeah, right now it's just looking a little bit too choppy for gold, so I'm staying away from it until things start to clear up, or unless we can get some wicks in the opposite direction, some good healthy wicks, some false breaks and whatnot. But yeah, currently still in Euro USD, which is still looking fairly strong. You still see we're pushing to the upside there. DXY is still looking very weak. So yeah, DXY for me is about to collapse to the downside. 95,500 is where I'm expecting DXY to head to. Again, I've been expecting DXY to collapse this last week when we first had this move. Was that last week or was that week before? I think it was last week. Yeah, I was expecting DXY to collapse from this level here. It failed to do so, from the higher low, and then it pushed on again, but we still haven't broken through. That key level, and essentially, as long as we stay below that key level, DXY for me is gonna drop. So yeah, DXY is doing exactly that, and yeah, I think if you're looking to get into some USD pairs to take advantage of this drop here, I think pound USD could be your best bet, because euro seems to be be flying already. So unless we do see some nice pullback from that one, Euro USD probably is already a bit of a goner. But Pound USD, there's still a nice level of resistance there. A nice break and retest will be good. Or maybe Pound USD does roll over again. I don't think it will. But if it does, look for buys around there. But the break and retest for Pound USD is definitely on. Because we're kind of consolidating a little bit. We've rejected that resistance twice now. We've rejected that support twice now. So, you know, you can kind of consider that pretty much consolidation, really. Take that across, you know, that's basically consolidation. So if you can get a break and retest of the highs of the consolidation, that would be a nice place to get involved and trade it to the upside. So yeah, if Pound can get that break and retest, looking for those longs. Like I said, I'm also looking to get a long on Pound JPY as well. I'm not going to look to get a long on Pound USD simply because I'm already in Euro. But Pound JPY close above there would definitely trigger me into looking for some entries the next day. But yeah, Pound JPY looking good. USD still looking for some shorts for this one to take this to the downside, but again, still very choppy. Again, it can break through that trend line, break through that support, depends which one it wants to do so. But I think we're going to see some nice downside for this one, and we can see price drop to the downside here. Risk reward looking okay, but you know, Usd Jpy is very messy right now. I do have to be honest. You know, the way it's trading was much cleaner over there. Even that was borderline messy, to be honest, as well. Here is very messy. So essentially, you know, as long as we don't take out this resistance, I think price will drop to the downside. So that's essentially how I'm going to play it. I'll just move that all out of the way. You can see you've got this resistance here on the left. Price keeps spiking into this, so he spiked into it once, fell to the downside, second time fell to the downside, third time fell to the downside, fourth time potentially fall to the downside. So we're still failing to break through this level 113732. Again, it's not like a major level, it's just you know, a structural level within that price action. That price is failing to break through, similar to what DXY Euro USD is doing. You know, Euro USD failing to break through that same support there, testing it a few times, failing to break through. We're seeing them move in the opposite direction. So that's why I do think Usd Jpy can fall. But again, there's clearer pairs out there depending how you want to trade it. Again, the best opportunity will probably be waiting for this support to break. You know, kind of just missing out all of this choppiness, waiting for that support to break, see if you can get a nice retest, short it to the downside. Or you can look for the longs if we do, you know, snap to the upside, depending on which way price wants to go. But yeah, I do think we would roll over. So yeah, there's a few pairs on my watch list. Usd Jpy, one of them. Pound JPY as well. I did have Euro JPY, but you know, I was in Euro USD, so I'm not going to look to trade both. Eurocard as well, looking for some moves to the upside for this one. I do think there's a lot of life left into this one. 1.46 is where I do see price going. So if we can get another retest of that, I will let you guys know in my Telegram. So if you haven't checked out the Telegram, feel free to go do so. Got that linked into the chat at the top or my description. Got a link to my Telegram in my description. So feel free to check that out. I did post Euro USD as well. But SD CAD is sort of on my watch list. I do want price action to clear up. I really do like the weekly. If that is a false break, which I think it is, we could see a nice push to the upside there. So I do really like the weekly. Daily, not so much. So I want to see that daily candle close. 4 hour, not so much either, just because we're really lacking that momentum. So SD CAD, if it can push up a little bit more for me, come back down, give me some wicks, yeah, I'll be definitely looking to get involved there. Obviously expecting that CAD weakness as well. So I do think we can see some nice upside. Yeah, I mean that's definitely. I mean that's the same for me as well, William. I don't look at my the candles before they're closed because that's where I enter. Obviously, I just look to enter on the lower time frames. But yeah, I do understand that. Yeah, have a good day to you too, man. Cheers for coming to the stream and leaving a like. Thank you so much. yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, leave a like. Does help the channel out and all that good stuff. But yeah, thanks again, Will. And pound AUD is on my watch list as well for some shorts. I just want to see a bit more. Wow, can not get that word out there. I just want to see a bit more rejection from this one. So I'm looking for that lower high. Obviously, after this impulsive drop there, looking for that lower high somewhere. This is my first area of interest, 1.86, nice psychological level. Nice key level as well, resistance there, support there, funded that move to the upside. So, we'd expect it to add to some nice resistance. So we put some nice wicks into that. However, price is still looking bullish. You can see that last 4H candle close wasn't the best, from a bearish point of view. Price started to turn bearish, it pulled all the way back up to about 90% of that wick there. So that's not a good sign. I'm waiting for price to develop a little bit more. Again, like I said to you guys earlier, a break of the trend line, or if we can respect that resistance again strongly, some shorts could be looking good, and we're looking for that triple top, 1, 2, 3, and then we can get short there. Price rejecting it 3 times. After 3 times, you don't really expect price to now go and break through the level. So yeah, if we can get a really strong reaction again, like we did there with those wicks and that momentum shift, then yeah, I'll look to get short, or can be a bit more conservative, wait for the trend line break, see if you can snap some retracement, maybe within 13-minute probably, and see if you can ride it to the lows. So yeah, pound AUD on the watch list. I do think we can see some downside. If we do break through this level, I still will be looking for sells, or will be slightly more cautious, because this will be turn support and we could kick on a little bit further. But yeah, we'll still be looking for shorts for pound AUD. We do obviously have this resistance here that does look good. So if we do snap through that, we might push up into here, and the sells will be looking good again. Probably just trade that range rather than back down to the lows. But yeah, I do have a short bias for pound AUD, so not bothered about the longs. Just waiting for some good valid shorts. USD CAD, short thing. So yeah, USD CAD, we've seen some upside for this one. Again, coming into the week, I did say on my weekly analysis that we're looking to get short from this level, take it to the lows, or if we snap above this level, looking for the continuation back to the highs. And we snapped above, didn't get the retest, however, so unless you bought on the break, you probably wouldn't have got an entry for this, or maybe if you dropped the lower time frames, maybe you would have got something. But yeah, USD CAD pretty much just skyrocketed to the upside again. USD CAD being heavily governed by the weakness and the strength of CAD, not so much USD, because if you look at the DXY, price is absolutely melting, but USD CAD barely reacting to that. So CAD is definitely the driving force here. Obviously USD will play its role in the direction of USD CAD, but USD CAD seems to be a little bit more control, especially with moves like this and moves like that. So you want to be keeping your eye and see what oil's doing, see what CAD is doing with other pairs. And CAD is quite weak right now, so hence USD CAD still overall looking bullish. And I do think we can look to ride and break through that resistance and see some new highs. Because if we zoom out a little bit of USD CAD, we do have quite a big push here. This looks to be a high low formation, and I do think we can see some new higher highs start to challenge these wicks here on the left. So I wouldn't be looking for sells really until price really shows us that yes, we're rejecting that level again, and then we can look for some shorts. We've seen a couple of dojis, couple of wicks, nothing too too concrete for us to get into some shorts. So I would say if you're looking for the buys, wait for break and retest of this. Look to get long there, was resistance, will be turned support. Look to get long from 1.28300, drop to your hourly, drop to your 30-minute, wherever you're looking to get into those trades. If you're looking for some shorts, I'd wait for price action to develop a little bit more. We do have kind of like this trend line here, price kind of squeezing in that kind of mini channel ish. So maybe if you can break out that channel there to the downside, let's get short there and ride it back down to that support. But even that might be a little bit aggressive. So yeah, USD CAD is a pair that I'm kind of leaving alone until things get a little bit clearer. It's at a nice place. We've had a nice push. We could see some downside, but not yet though. We need a little bit more there from USD CAD to confirm to us that yeah, we are shifting, and we could see USD come down. But obviously DXY is looking very bearish, but it hasn't had too much of an effect there for USD CAD. So maybe if DXY was to drop a lot further, then we could see that bearish come through for USD CAD. But so far, CAD is definitely winning that battle and still looking bullish. So yeah, if you're looking for those shorts, you know, break out that channel to the downside. If you're looking for those longs, wait for price to snap above 1.28300, retest, and then you can look for your entries there to take that longer. But yeah, USD CAD is still looking very, very bullish. So I hope that analysis helped there. I will be posting a video later today as well, guys, so do keep an eye out for that, how to trade support resistance effectively. Got some nice examples there. Thank you for subscribing, love to see that. Join the family, Jack, love to see that. Love to see that, bro. But yeah, I do have a video coming out later today about how to trade support resistance quite effectively. A few people have asked me about that, because I do use support and resistance quite a lot in my trading. So yeah, I can share how I interpret it, really. Some tips as well, things to look out for, market conditions, you know, how to develop your bias, all that good stuff. So do keep an eye out for that. But yeah, DXY snapped through that neckline there at 150,500. Close above there today. Get a nice daily close above that. Then tomorrow we'll wait for some retracement. That'll be, you know, tomorrow's wick, forming the downside of the candle, and then we'll look to get long on the retest of that level for push to the upside. Now we're looking at a nice, you know, what is that? No, almost 200 pips to the upside. So that pound JPY long is looking very, very tasty if it can come into fruition. Of course, you can look to get long here. It's just a little bit more aggressive because you do have, you know, a lot of choppiness here, a lot of resistance, a lot of areas where, you know, sellers could look to find positions against you. But because we're rejecting this so heavily, I do think pound JPY will eventually break to the upside anyway. So just slightly more riskier, but I do think it will happen anyway. Obviously, I can be wrong. No one's going to be right all the time. So yeah, I do think pound JPY push above this. I will look for the retest of this, and I will look to get long. Got a nice trend line there as well. Price is respecting. So yeah, the longs are looking good for pound JPY, and I do have my eye on that pair. What pairs am I watching today? Any entries? Yeah, there's a few pairs I'm watching, but there's a few pairs that I'm waiting for a little bit more development. I'm not necessarily looking for any entries on them. So like EuroCAD, you know, I'm looking for a pullback for this one, which seems to be absolutely flying. I think Euro is just quite strong. Yeah, EuroCAD, I'm looking for a retest of this. Actually, if I just zoom out for you, basically this resistance here on the daily time frame, just taking that across at 1.44200. I'm looking to see if price can come back, retest this, and I'll look for some entries there to take that higher. Again, like I said, I'm not necessarily looking for an entry right now because price does need to pull back quite far. But if something does happen, I will let you guys know on my Telegram. Pound JPY, you know, I'm waiting for a push above there, but again, that'll be for tomorrow, so not an entry for today. Usd Jpy, I'm looking to get short on this one, either and price can break through the trend line, which I think it's doing right now. But again, we still got 17 minutes before that candle closes. So I'm looking to get short on pound JPY. I think a break and retest of the trend line could be a nice entry for a lower high, or a break and retest with that support, and then you can ride that down to these lows. So yeah, Usd Jpy, I'm looking again for this one. It might be tomorrow as well, to be honest. Pound USD again might be tomorrow as well. I'm waiting for price to break through this resistance to ride it up into that key level up there. So again, I need price to break above that, retest it, and again, that probably will be tomorrow as well. So yeah, I think a lot of pairs I'm looking at is probably for tomorrow, because I do like to wait for pairs to develop. I don't normally like to catch the first test of levels, or the first push or the first pullback. I like for price to pull back, maybe consolidate, fake out a few times, and then I can look to stick my entries in, rather than just looking to get in straight away, which I do think that benefits me more in the long run anyway. So tomorrow there could be a lot of setups developing. Obviously right now I'm currently in Euro USD. I did have this position on yesterday, so I got in over there. Price did retrace against me during that Asian session, but it still respected my support. You can see the price tested it 3 times now before I looked to enter. Could have actually entered another position there if I was a bit more on the ball. Could have entered another position there with that closure. But yeah, Euro USD currently in that trade right now, looking for a push into those highs. Again, this pair, I've been watching it. I actually got into a long position last week for this one, looking for the exact same move on this entry here. I have my stop loss just below. So yeah, I was looking for a move up into that level. You can see price to come close. It did end up retracing all the way against me. I did exit the trade around here just before it did come to stop me out for break even. So take some nice partials there, but I've had my eye on it and I'm stuck another trade on now, which looks to be good, but again, it could still roll over. Price could do anything it wants to. But yeah, I'm still keeping my same bias as I had last week. Price is still failing to break for that same level, so really there was no point in me to change my bias anyway. The same support is still intact, it's not broken, so I'm still looking for those longs. Got into a nice long on Monday, could have gotten re-entry, which I did miss. But yeah, Euro USD is still looking good. DXY melting, and I think that one's going to go down to 95,500. So yeah, DXY, if DXY does see that drop, Euro USD should push on a lot further. Pound AUD short or long, sir? Yeah, we'll take a look at that, sir. Pound AUD, I do have a bearish price for this one. I'm looking for shorts for Pound AUD. Actually, to be honest with you, Flo, there could actually be entry on Pound AUD. I forgot about this pair. Pound AUD, I'm looking for either a triple top to develop for some shorts, or the safer entry, which we get a break of that trend line, looking for some retracement, maybe dropping down to the 30 or the 15 minute for that retracement, and then catching the continuation to the lows, because on the daily chart you can see you've had a massive dump in price action. I'm just looking for that lower high to form that retracement of this leg for a new leg to the downside. So just keeping it simple, impulse, correction, impulse. So I'm waiting for that to happen there. Either I'm looking for a triple top here, because we had a really nice key level, resistance there, support there, quite a big move up, nice psychological level, 1.86, nice area of supply then the left as well. So some really nice confluence in that area. So I'm looking for that triple top to develop. If we can spike through this one more time, give us a nice bearish entry signal, I'll probably look to get involved. Or if things are not looking too good, I might just wait for the trend line to break, retrace, and then get involved in the short. So yeah, for me, I'm short on Pound AUD. If we do actually break through this level, then potentially we might see a little bit more upside for Pound AUD. I did highlight this resistance here, so if Pound AUD does break through this, then I think price, certainly if it does give us a retest of that level, certainly will turn bullish, and we might see a push into 1.87500, and then from there some shorts will be looking good. But yeah, Pound AUD, if it breaks through 1.86, gives you a higher low retest, then I'll say longs are looking good and get involved in some buys. If not, and we start rejecting this level again, snap through the trend line, and we're probably coming back down to 1.84. So if you're looking to buy or sell Pound AUD, just keep your eye out. Keep your eye out for what happens in this level here. So far, we've seen twice price reject it really nicely. Looking for that third time the triple top, and that to confirm it, we can get short if we just snap through this level, because price is still bullish. We still have to respect the trend. High, lower high, high, lower high. Price tried to push another high, but it's still respecting that previous lower high. So the trend is still intact, and we can still push on, a lot further if price wishes to do so. So yeah, just keep an eye out at 1.86 if you reject it or not, which is that level there. And then yeah, you can base your bias on that. But yeah, I'm looking for the shorts, just haven't had that confirmation yet. Where's my bias for selling? Where's my TP for selling USD CAD? Any ideas? Yeah, USD CAD I'm staying away from, simply because CAD's been really weak recently, and CAD has been, a very big catalyst for USD CAD recently. USD hasn't really been driving this one too much. CAD has done a lot of the driving in recent weeks. Obviously, before USD was a bit more heavily involved, but CAD's quite weak right now, and obviously USD is quite weak. So you've got two weak currencies there. CAD's slightly weaker since we've got the push to the upside there yesterday. But we're really seeing the DXY come in right now. So if you're looking to get short, or if you're already in a short for USD CAD, I will be a bit careful with this one, because again, if CAD wins the battle, this one could easily break through that resistance, head a lot higher. So I would say you do have this first obstacle in your way here, which will be this trend line price is bouncing from. So if you can snap through that trend line, then you could be seeing a lot more downside in your direction. But I'd say 1.27300 is definitely a place you should be looking to take some profit at least, taking some partials, or completely looking to exit depending if we do reject it. But yeah, certainly this area here, just filling that ranging back again, is certainly a place you would be looking to take the partials. I think you can even take some partials if we do go and have that break as well, just to secure some profit. But yeah, USD CAD I'm staying away from just because of CAD. I'm not saying it's a bad trade and it won't work, because obviously we have no idea which pair is going to move which way. We can only analyze and just estimate to the best of our ability. But yeah, USD CAD, I just don't like what CAD's doing right now, so that's why I'm staying away from it. But obviously it could still fall, and if it does, I would say that level there, 1.27300, is probably the most logical place to look to aim, take your TP at. Then you can take some partials down the way, just in case price does go against you as well. So don't just hold on all the way to that level, because price might reverse before that. So do take some profit as price comes down, just to protect yourself. Yeah, I just post my setups there. It's not necessarily a signal. Well, it kind of is a signal, but I just post my ideas, my setups there. Against nothing to be taken too seriously. You can go back through the trades. I just post my setups there. You can look to take them if you want. You can look to take them on a demo account. It's just my bias, how I look at the market. My setups are there really. Nothing too much more than that. Again, it would be nice if you analyze the market yourself, have your own bias, and then come and see the Telegram and see if it adds up as well. But yeah, the Telegram is just basically my own setups. Yeah, sure, no problem. Sold from the top. Okay, so you should be in some profit there. So yeah, you should have a nice entry if you sold from the top there. Just watch out if price starts to gain momentum, and if you do see a break of that trend line, a break out of that channel, look to take some partials just to ease that psychology, and make sure they're not leaving too much money on the table as price comes down. And if you do start to see price reverse quite steeply against you, probably look to cut it, because the price is still very much in a bullish market on the higher time frames, and can still look to break through that level. So if price does start coming down for you, take those partials off, and then if price reverses, just look to exit and move on to the next opportunity. Yeah, sure thing. We'll take a look at Europound. Okay, so Europound. Okay, Europound, we're finding support and resistance here. We're a little bit stuck between this key level of resistance and support underneath us. Again, price, if you look on the hourly time frame, it is giving us some bearish price action here. Lower low, lower high. We could still roll over. I'd say if we can take out this level here, 0.85500, then we should be looking at a push back up into that resistance / that trend line. If I go on the daily quickly, you can see you've got this daily trend line there. That price has been testing for quite a while. So if we snap through that hourly resistance, that is where I do think price will roll into. I mean, this can be classified as consolidation now. We've rejected that resistance 3 times and that support twice, so that is, you know, consolidation. So if you can break through that high there, 0.85500, that's why I expect price to come into back into that resistance at 0.85900. Break through this support, you're most likely going to roll over back down into that support there, which is this strong support here at 0.84934. Really strong support. Didn't quite test it, so you might still roll over, come back and test that support. So yeah, we do have consolidation on Europound. Oh, frozen a little bit there. We do have consolidation in Europound, so it just depends which way it's going to break out to. Again, the way I trade consolidation, I just wait for price to give me the information as to where it wants to go, and then I look to trade in that direction on the retest. Not all the time I get the retest. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. When I do, you know, there's a fairly good chance price will go in that direction. So just keeping it simple, waiting for price to give us the direction. Right now we do have this bearish momentum, so I'll probably be more inclined to think price would roll over. Probably look to get an aggressive entry here, but you are in that consolidation, so I would keep that in mind. But yeah, break through that resistance, back to highs, break through that support, back to lows. Yeah, I don't read too much about the news, to be fair. You know, you're asking the wrong person for that. I may try to focus as much as I can on technicals. Again, I'm starting to read a little bit more about the news and the fundamentals and how things can help the bias and all that. But yeah, I wouldn't know, to be honest. With gold, really, I'm not really looking to trade it, to be honest, either. Price action is a little bit too choppy. So yeah, I think it's best just to leave it. You know, to leave it. You know, watch the news come out, see what happens with gold. You know, go and back test when that news specifically is released through gold, and just, you know, record what happens for each event. But yeah, I don't look too much into it, mainly because when I'm back testing, I'm focusing 100% on technicals. So I want to try and mirror that into my live trading as much as possible. But yeah, I don't focus that on too much, so you're probably the wrong person to ask there. But you know, if you don't know, it's best just not trade it and put money on it. It's just best to sit back, watch, you know, learn from what happened, and then maybe go and back test it and take that into future scenarios. Find difficult to trade pairs like Europound, agency. Yeah, I do agree. They're a little bit more slow, a little bit more choppy. I do agree with you on that one. I mean, I don't just like disregard them completely, because they still do give sometimes good opportunities. But I do agree with you. They're very, very choppy. I think Euro USD, Pound USD, Pound JPY, pairs like that are definitely much better. A lot cleaner price action. Candlesticks form better. Entry signals are a lot better. So yeah, if you're thinking about homing onto a few pairs, I think, you know, trading cross pairs like Europound, USD Jpy, CHF Jpy, AUD, those pairs, tend to avoid them. And the pips count on them is a lot lower as well. You know, you have to see a bigger move to get the same amount of pips as you would do on a Pound JPY or something like that. So yeah, I do completely agree with that. They are slightly difficult because they are a lot more choppy, but you can see for Europound, if you do catch the highs and the lows of these moves, they do give you quite big, you know, steep moves. But you can see they do tend to consolidate and are quite time consuming. You know, price action is very, very choppy. For these ones, you want to be focusing on the highs and the lows rather than getting too intricate and looking at the kind of, you know, the middle of it. It's very, very choppy sometimes. And sometimes it's best just to leave the pair alone, focus more on other pairs. But yeah, currently in Euro USD, so that one's still looking good. Again, with that move, I'll definitely be moving stop loss to break even now. Price maybe could come back for another test, but with how the DXY is looking, if it was to come back for another test, I'll just look to re-enter really, or it could actually go and break it. You know, this tested like 12 times now, so we do expect to see the move happen pretty much, and especially with such impulsive nature like that, I think it's time for the move to happen. So I'll move stop loss to break even. Not the best place. You don't want to move it to break even on the support, because price could always come back and retest the support. But for this scenario, if price does come back to retest, I'll just look to enter the trade again. But after that strong move, I'll move my stop loss to break even and just see what happens. Take all risk of the table off the table. Balance psychology. Take some partials because it is coming to my first take profit, which is this level here. This level could send us back down again. It did it previously, so we'll be taking profit there. But yeah, Euro USD still looking strong. We'll let that go on. Euro CAD still looking for some retracement there, back down to that level. Take it higher. Pound JPY, I'm still looking for price to break through that level there, and it's still looking quite strong. So hopefully you can see that move. Usd Jpy, I'm looking for price to break through that trend line, break through that support, and then we can maybe find some entries, but nothing too much there. So it's a few pairs I do have my eye on, and if I do get entries, I'll let you guys know in the Telegram. So yeah, feel free to go check that out. But yeah, if I don't post anything on the Telegram, it's clearly because I haven't found a suitable enough, a high quality enough trading setup. Pound USD as well, looking for the break and retest of that. I don't think I'll trade it personally, simply because I'm already in Euro USD, so there's really no real need for me. It's the exact same kind of pair really. Obviously they will differ slightly, move at different rates, but it's the same move I'm looking for the reversal. Usd CHF looking bearish as well. That will probably snap low as well. I will keep an eye out for this one for the break and retest entry there as well. But yeah guys, it has come to the end of the stream, but I hope you guys have found it useful, either learned something or a piece of analysis or anything. If you did, you find it useful, leave a like on the video. It does really help the channel out. Subscribe if you haven't done already. More than welcome to join the family. Happy to have you here. Like always, we'll do a quick rundown on some of the pairs that I've looked out throughout the stream. Pairs that I've got my eye on for the rest of the day / rest of the week, and then yeah, we'll look to end the stream there. So like I said before, currently in Euro USD, looking for a push into those highs. We'll see how that gets on. Hopefully we'll still be in the trade coming into tomorrow. So I will be streaming again on Wednesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. GMT. So we'll hopefully be in this trade tomorrow. We'll speak about it, see what's going on, see if we retrace back down or push on. Pound JPY looking for a daily close above that neckline there. If we get a daily close above that resistance, I'll look for the next day to pull back, retest, and then we'll look for some continuation to push that further. Pound USD, like I said as well for this one, break and retest, we're looking for that one. Again, if I do get something for this, I'll let you guys know. Like I said, I probably wouldn't take the trade, but if I do get a good entry, I'll stick it in the Telegram and share that with you guys if you're looking to trade pound. Usd Jpy, I'm looking for sales for this one. Again, it's just very choppy. This is all consolidation here, so it's difficult to trade, but I do think it will roll over. It's still rejecting the key support over here, and I think that will roll over, but it's only a matter of time before we do get some good entries. But yeah, I've had a nice close below the trend line. Not very much convinced, to be honest, so I'll let a bit more price action develop before start looking for entries. But Usd Jpy is definitely a pair I'm looking at. And finally, Pound AUD, looking for some sells. If we can break through that trend line or see some nice rejection there. Oh, that is a nice hammerstick candle. If you can get a nice confirmation there, there could be some nice sells. Or you can wait for the break of the trend line, depending how risky you are. But it's some nice rejection there, forming some lower highs. So if that momentum can keep up, could be some nice entries there for Pound AUD shorts. So I'll let you guys go. Again, all these pairs I've just run through, I'll keep my eye on them throughout the day. Let you guys know if I see anything, put it in the Telegram. But yeah, that's it for today. We'll be live again tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. GMT. Same thing on Thursday. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe in the markets. Don't go and over leverage your account or explode any account. You want to keep our money safe. But yeah, have a good day, guys, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.
Bye.